My name is Ian and welcome to Planted, my gardening channel. Now in this video I'm going to talk about next year. Next year is 2024. It's the beginning of a new season, and the reason for that is that today is the 21st of December, which is the shortest day of the year. And this is a milestone because what happens from now on, although we've got winter ahead of us here in the northeast, what happens from now on is that the days start to get longer. There's more energy in the sun, and the sun's duration putting energy onto the earth increases, and this is a sign for plants to start to get growing. Now I know that January and February are very cold and we get lots of snow, but today is a wonderful day if you're a gardener, because you know that spring is around the corner, and I want to impress upon you today to start looking at what it is that you want to do. Now, I recently talked to you about my greenhouse and my greenhouse inside a greenhouse, and I'm so happy to be giving you this video where I can show you the benefits of my greenhouse and how that's going to play into what I want to do next year. So the first thing is, we'll take a plant, for example. This is a very, very nice Salvia, and I featured this in a previous video where I cut it back quite hard, potted it on, and it's already rewarding me with lots of new growth. Now I'm not going to overly feed this, I'm not going to overwater it, I just want it to stay healthy and vibrant. But this is the trick. When you have a greenhouse, it's very easy to start filling it with all sorts of plants that you don't want. I'm very happy to have this plant, and the true benefit for me is that I can start to take cuttings from this plant in January, February and March. I don't need to do it right now, but that's very much what this plant will be used for. I get one big plant that will give me a substantial show earlier in the year, but if I want to propagate some plants and give them away to my friends and family, I can do. And what you do is, and it really is this easy, here we have a little side shoot, and what we're going to do is just pinch it off like that, and like that, and like that. Take off those shoots, and this is where the roots will grow. But I've got too much growth above ground, because it has no roots. This is going to transpire a lot of water and the plant will dry out. So I want to pinch out this, take out those shoots, and I even want to cut this. Now you can cut them, you can tear them, I've had success both ways. And there's my little cutting. This is the magic of having a greenhouse. Even a small greenhouse means that you can start to propagate, and you get good plants that you can then give away and trade for more good plants. Now this brings me to the very important point. Why bother? Well, many of the plants that you see here are not difficult to grow, they're just difficult to find. They're not that common. So why should I let all these plants die and then try and find them next spring when all I need is a little greenhouse, and I mean a small greenhouse, kept at 50 degrees. I've got my trusty thermostat here, the sun's come up, and we are already at 60 degrees inside with no heat. So I've got this set up so that it stays at 50, and there'll be a whole video about greenhouse heating and what I'm doing and how it works. But now we get natural heat taking us up to 60 degrees, and later on today as the sun moves around facing due south, this can get easily into 70 to 75 degrees. And what that does, it takes in the heat, stores it in the concrete floor, stores it in the water barrels, and when it gets cold outside, that thermal mass is released, and I need to add even less heat. So having a small greenhouse heated to 50 degrees is a huge boon for anybody with enthusiasm for gardening. You can overwinter choice plants, you can take your own cuttings, you can propagate to your heart's content, all knowing that these plants are safe. This greenhouse measures about 6 feet that way and about 8 feet this way. So we're at 32, maybe 34 square feet, and it is going to be packed full. I've got lots of things that I want to share with you and show with you. Let's get down to a few more plants that have find their home in this wonderful greenhouse. Here is a Euphorbia. This was very scruffy when it was put in here. The previous videos will show you how I took them out of a planted container, cut them back, stick them in a pot, and this is what we end up with right now. This is Euphorbia breathless, and you can see that it's already flowering. Just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful plant. This is not exactly unusual. You can find these. There's one called Diamond Frost, which is very popular, but I'm going to have this, and I can divide it, and I will start to grow my containers my way, because I'm not waiting for nurseries to get plants in that I want. So very happy with the Euphorbia. This is the Cockle or the Vigna caracalla. This has beautiful curly flowers in the shape of a nautilus. Big hit. I feature this in my garden every year, and every year I have people come back and want to see it. So although it looks kind of tired right now, it's doing just fine. This is Vigna caracalla. We've got beautiful white plumbago, which is very choice and worth having. I do want to feature this. This is Allergine. And what I would typically do, when I dug this up and put it in this pot, I would have pruned it back to here, and that way it would have sprouted out. But I'm deliberately wanting to take more cuttings of this, so I let it grow. And when it was repotted, it was in shock. It was drying out too fast, so all the leaves fell off. This is completely normal. But with some patience and care, you can see I've been rewarded with lots of nice, healthy growth. And there might even be some flower buds on there. But I want to use this as propagation stock. I want to use this to take some cuttings probably in late February time. So that's another reason why having a greenhouse, even a small greenhouse, lets you overwinter stuff, overwinter tender plants, overwinter plants that are difficult to find, not difficult to grow, but just difficult to find. And I'm itching and raring to go. Here we have another one. This is a Lotus Jacobsa. These branches look like dead twigs when it was first potted, but you can see now we've got lots of nice foliage. I'm hoping that with this having a more robust stem, that the display it puts on for me next year will be a bit more of a showstopper. I've been a little bit underwhelmed so far, but the clue is this grey foliage wants it hot and dry, and I think I've probably been keeping it too moist. It needs to be a little bit more arid. So this needs to be planted with some plants that like that same condition. But of course, I can now keep it through the winter in my greenhouse. Back here we've got the Tibucina, Melianthus. This is the wonderful Aristolochia. This has got huge flowers that I featured before, putting out nice new growth. All sorts of delectable stuff. So I'm delighted with all of that. So in that regard, coming up on the planted channel will be more greenhouse, more propagation, more gardening. All of it is designed so that you can have success in your own yards and have the confidence to do the right task at the right time. And let's get back to the opening of this video. It's the 21st of December, and not many people would think that today is the perfect day to start gardening. But now's the time that you make a plan. You decide on those things that you did last year that worked, and you do them again. You decide on those things that didn't work last year, and guess what? You don't do those again. And you start to consolidate your efforts. It's very, very easy to get busy in a garden, busy in a greenhouse, growing all sorts of things, but it not actually translate to anything in the garden. So take today and take this video as that gentle reminder, that gentle nudge to start gardening now. Make your plans, make your commitment to not waiting until the last minute. And if there's a greenhouse in your future, I would encourage you to do it. It is an absolute game changer. And if you are as lucky as I am in being able to have it attached to a building, it means that it's stronger, it's warmer, it's more secure, and you're also more likely to spend time in your greenhouse. So thank you so much for watching. I can't wait for this next year and to have you join me as we get into the planted garden. Bye for now.